welcome to my latest video. This week we're going to continue on using the WhoScored data, and what we're going to look at now and try and create is a visualization between two players on the pitch, the successful passes throughout the game. What we're going to try and create is this visual. So as you can see here, these are the passes between Pau Torres and Amadou Onana versus Manchester United. This was in the last game of the season when United won 2-0 and cost Aston Villa the Champions League position. And yes, I'm still bitter. But anyway, as you can see, a number of passes here clustered in their own half. You would expect that, with Torres on the left of the centre D position and Amadou Onana roaming around here in the centre mid position. We have a key down the bottom to show that Torres is the red and Amadou is the blue into this document to be able to create the visualization. And as usual, I will copy and paste just to save time. So we'll talk through it as we go. So the first one we're going to add, and we've added it many times, is Panda, and that will help us manipulate the data. The next portion of packages, we have MPL Soccer, import pitch, vertical pitch, font manager, SBO pen, and as you can see, these majority of these enable us to create the pitch using the MPL Soccer package. If you haven't looked that up yet, it's does some great stuff, and the guy who's created that has put a lot of work in for the community. There's the font manager, is to allow us to use certain fonts that we want, and this opens. We could actually remove this because we don't use stats bomb data, so I'm going to take this out. Remove that. The next piece, next package, is going to be Matplotlib, and this enables us to create the visualizations and plots on the screen from Matplotlib. The path effects allowed us to put text or lines onto the visual. The next piece from highlight text, we're going to import ax text, and as you see here, when we import that, it allows us to easily add rich colored partial text annotations to the axes if we want to use those. Can be used for other types of visuals. They're not all used in this particular one. I just, because sometimes within my notebooks I will make multiple different types of visuals. For this one I'm just going to do that one, but I'm still adding in the other packages. And then finally we import linear segment color map, and this allows us to add custom gradients in there if we wish to. These three at the bottom probably not going to be used in this, but we'll keep them there for now, just in case I want to build on this later. So we'll run that. May take a few moments as it's the first time I'm running it. And we'll know when it's done when this turns to a 1 up at the top. It's doing that because it's loading in the packages, and it can take a minute, but there you go, it's turned to a 1, so we're good to move on to the next part. The next part, what we're going to do is we're going to load in the data, and if you watched my other tutorials you'll know this is a regular. So DF, we're creating a data frame. PD, the Pandas, is reading the Excel called game data. It will read that in, and then df.ed will just show you the first 5 rows of the data frame. And there we go. See across here. these dots in the middle, if you see these dots here, they'll show you that there are columns that are hidden. Shortly we'll add some code that will expand that, and actually we'll do that right now. Lines of code, they're going to show you all the columns, and it will show you all the rows as well. So if we run this, and then I copy df ed again, and we'll still run that. Now you'll see up here, you see the slide bar only goes a short way. Now this slide bar goes a lot longer, because now it's showing you all the columns within the data frame. So that's what these two do. So it's PD again, Pandas is setting the option to display the maximum amount of columns, and the same here, maximum rows, and that will show us if we wanted to see all the rows in the data frame, but that can take a while, so I don't normally do that. The next piece of code is just going to manipulate the data a little bit. There's 3 steps to this. The first part is going to make a just a small data frame of just the player ID and the name, and from that we'll pull that down. We're going to remove any duplicates from that, so we don't want them to be in there more than once. And then if there also is no name in a player name, we want them to drop that too. So we really want to clean up the data, so we'll run that. And then if we just look at this and run it, it'll give you the list of the player ID and the player name. That's what that has done. If I'd have just said run it after and just put this line in, it would have shown every time the name appeared. So Bruno Fernandez, if he was involved 50 times, it would show him 50 times in the match events, but we didn't want that. We just wanted to bring it down, because we'll use that later on, and you'll see where we'll use that. So after we loop through this and run it, again we put df head here, so it's going to show us 20 lines. If we just did that again, it's only going to show us that top 5 lines. So there we go. This next area code is really just going to pull the team names in, and for those who've worked with me recently, you'll know I have this file, and it basically just has the team and their team ID, and you can get this off of the WhoScored website. So obviously Aston Villa is 24, Manchester United is 32. So when we run this, it's going to ask us, it'll prompt us to put the first team in, second team in. It's then going to access that file I just showed you. It's going to work out the names of the teams. So in here, Manchester United, Aston Villa, so you type those in, and then it will look up the team IDs here, and then I'll just print out to show you that it's worked it out. So let's just run that. Be sure to spell it out the same way you have it in the in this file. So don't just put Man United. When you type it out, it won't recognize it. So it's telling you here the home team is well, those what you've typed in, and it's just confirming that. And now it's telling you, okay, I found the team IDs for those 2 teams. Okay, this next piece of code is just going to select the passes that are successful for the home team and build a data frame for that. So here we have put data frame home, that's what we're calling it. It's equals to data frame, the original data frame, and it's going to lock in anything that's a pass as the home team ID, which we know is 24, and that pass equals successful. So we can run that. Now if we run this, it's going to give us all the passes, but you can see here that are successful, but as you can see it's only team 24. If we just wanted to see the if we wanted to just see the top 5 rows, we could do that again. We do that exactly for the away team. So this is just going to pull the Manchester United passes together. So if we want to use those later and not do one for an Aston Villa player, we could do one for a Manchester United if we wished. So we have run that. Successful. You can see the numbers come in here. Now the next few lines are just going to set up the fonts that we want to use for this particular visual. So this one here is Roboto Regular. We're going to equals the font manager, so we're just setting that. So that will be the font that we're allowed to use when we create the visual. This part is just going to define a path effect to improve text availability. So the path underscore efficiency equals path stroke. We set the width. Foreground is black. So again, so we put a black border around text so it will stand out a little bit more. And path effects is normal. And then we fill it with a normal default font color. We run that. So this next piece here is going to allow us to say the players that we want to call in. So it's going to load again, it's already loaded the data frame, we know that. So this next piece is going to allow us to call in the players we want to use. So player name, the variable that we will create, is equals the input, so it's going to ask us to put a name, player 2, input, second player name. Then you can just put the opposition name. It's going to obviously create a variable called opponent. So we run that. So let's do Esri Konza. Amadou Onana against Manchester United. Okay, this last section now is going to create the actual visual. So we'll go through it bit by bit. So this is created a data frame just using the predicted name, but it's set it to none right now, and it's just going to iterate through those names, and it's going to look through the columns type when it equals pass, outcome is successful, and the team ID from the team ID that we have set for the particular players. And then it's just going to filter passes between players 1 and 2. So the filtered data frame equals the type, that equals pass, and the outcome is successful. And it's going to look now for the passes between the 2 players. Will equal filtered data, and it will equal the filtered data name where player 1 is Esri Konza, and he has passed to the predicted name, which is Amadou Onana. And then it's also going to add in where Amadou Onana, who is player 2, passes to player 1, who is Esri Konza. And it's just going to keep the columns that it needs. So the new data frame is the pass between, and then we filtered it down just a minute. If we want to use that, the starting location of the pass, the player name, the ending location of the pass, and then the predicted pass 2. And this section 3 here is going to create the pitch using the MPL soccer package. It's going to create the UEFA pitch. It's going to set the color. The line color is white because the pitch is a dark color. It's going to set the size, 16:9. It's an average landscape size. And then it's going to set the face color as well there. and now it's going to iterate through all the start and end points, and it's going to put an arrow between them. So this is what this section here is basically doing. We've looked at all the passes now. We've filtered it down between Esri Konsa and Amadou Onana back and forth, and now what it's going to do, it's going to say, okay, this pass starts with Esri Konsa, I need to point an arrow towards where Amadou Onana receives it, and back and forth. So it will do the same, start with Amadou Onana and push an arrow towards Esri Konsa. And you can change the width of the head if you want to change that. You can set a different line style. I have the dash, you can put solid or whatever, and this is going to set the color down here. And so here it's going to set the color to red if it's player 1. So if the ball started with Esri Konsa, there's going to be a red dot there. If it doesn't start with Esri Konsa, it's going to be a blue dot. So that will just start with Amadou Onana. And this now is going to plot all of those, the start and ends, onto the pitch. It's going to plot them, it's basically a scatter plot, it's going to plot them on there. So we've got the arrows drawn between the two players. This now is going to put the dots, the blue and red dots, before and after the arrows where the players passed and received the ball. This is just going to add a title, a legend, and the branding. Branding is just my X handle. So this is going to plot your title. It's successful players between player name 1, player name 2, and the opponents. You'll see this F here. If you're pulling a variable into a title, like this is a variable, there's 3 variables there, you have to have that F before there, it won't show properly. Color wide, font size 24. The legend, it is creating it here. It is saying its face color is red, edge color is white, so it's drawn a little box, for a red box with a white outline for player 1, player 2, blue box, white outline, and this now will plot it where it wants. So it's put in lower center, and then it's gonna, you can change around this 0.5 sets it central, and this will place it below the visual. Number of columns is 2, font size is 12. We're just keeping the frame straight and true. This is going to put the background behind the legend. This is going to just place my X handle, a bit of a game where I want it to show, and this is just going to save it, and it's going to put the DPI just to keep a nice quality to it. Now if you're using Jupyter Notebook, you don't need this. Sometimes it causes a problem, you can delete it, but you can leave it in there. So certain visuals are okay. We run it, I'm hoping. Okay, here we go. So we have successful passes. So this is my title, turned out great. And now if we look at the bottom, we have a legend. Amadou Onana is blue, Esri Konsa is red. So we can see this one here. This was a pass from Amadou to Esri Konsa. Here, let's have a look for any red ones. So we can see this one here. Esri Konsa passed here to Amadou Onana there. So yeah, that's what it's got my X handle in the right place. And so you can do this and look at players again. You can't plot unsuccessful passes because they don't go anywhere to where they want them to go. So this just shows you the amount of successful passes and where they were on the pitch. This game wasn't successful for Aston Villa, and they didn't have many successful passes, so unfortunately there aren't many to show. But this is another visual you can use for tactical understanding of looking at opponents and where they're likely to pass to a teammate in a particular area. and the more data you look at, obviously, the easier it becomes. So I hope this was useful. I hope it was another one of my visuals that you can help you with your data analytics work, even if it's just a hobby like myself. I don't do it for a living. I just like to post stuff on X when I have time. So please share the video, like the video. Any comments you would want to share, positive, negative, any feedback, I'm certainly open to it. If you want to reach out to me on X for anything, please do, or you can drop some comments in the video and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a wonderful day, and bye for now.